fair to say you simply flooded the system with money?
Yes, we did. That's another way to think about it. We did.
Where does it come from? Do you just print it?
We print it digitally. So we, as a central bank, we have the ability to create money. That actually increases the money supply. We also print actual currency, and we distribute that through the Federal Reserve banks.
This is it. It is over. This is what the end looks like.
So that I think that the internet is going to be one of the major forces for reducing the role of government.
Something called Bitcoin.
Brother, can you spare a Bitcoin?
Bitcoin. You never heard of them a few weeks ago? Now everybody's talking about them.
The one thing that's missing, but that will soon be developed, is a reliable e-cash. A method whereby on the internet you can transfer funds from A to B without A knowing B or B knowing A.
How did he know? That's it. That's all I can play. That intro goes on for 2.5 minutes, but that's the first minute of it, because how did he know? How did he know? The one thing that had not been invented yet was Bitcoin. It's truly revolutionary technology, and Elon Musk should shut the F up, probably. That's what most people are saying. In fact, one of the leading comments in my DLive chat right now used the C word to describe Elon Musk. Like, what the hell is he talking about? He's just proven what he is, what he's been all along, which is a phony, a fake, a poser, an imposter, an interloper. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But unfortunately, you don't have to know what you're talking about to affect the price of Bitcoin. So what can I tell you today? I was going to say that Elon Musk didn't do anything today that affected the value of Bitcoin. However, he did do something today that affected the price, at least temporarily. And I think it's worth taking it seriously and to explore whatever investment opportunities might be presented by him acting like an idiot on Twitter. So in case you didn't know why your portfolio was down today, it had to do, apparently, with Mr. Elon Musk. Now, we have other stuff going on, too, in the world, but it's been a lot of Elon Musk news. And Elon Musk just, what was my last episode? Said he stopped taking Bitcoin for Teslas, and that made the market dump. Said Bitcoin uses too much energy, etc. The market started selling off. Then, in other news, Binance is apparently under investigation. So, and that I've seen blamed for the market sell-off. And then today, I'm sitting looking at Bitcoin, looking at cryptos, and the price is going down. And then people start posting things that Elon Musk has been saying. And Elon Musk might have sold all of his Bitcoin. That's the news that came across, the desks of traders everywhere. Elon Musk does not deny that he sold all his Bitcoin. So Elon Musk doesn't deny that he sold all his Bitcoin. So I'll show you the tweet. You can decide. Does it matter if he sells all his Bitcoin? Can Bitcoin survive without Elon Musk? It's been through a lot worse. It's been through a lot worse. And the only people who have lost mostly so far are people who bet against Bitcoin or sold too soon. So far, hodlers still looking good. So far, Bitcoin's still performing pretty well this year. And so far, if you hold other crypto assets other than Bitcoin, then you're probably feeling all right. This could be for you a healthy correction. And then you just want to make sure you're positioned for when things turn around. So they say, and I have good news for you if you're looking for good news. I know you weren't thinking about selling anyway. I hope not. We don't ever advocate selling. Although once in a while you can exchange one for the other. But we don't recommend ever think of it as a transition out of the filthy fiat system, the system that is backed by blood, baby's blood, and get into something that's just backed by electricity, which is, at least to a large extent, renewable. And is it so bad? Well, Elon Musk, just basically pulled a full 180 on Bitcoin and decided to start talking shit about it too, on top of that, besides the energy usage demand. So let me cover what he said. I'll cover a little bit of Raoul Pal getting involved, going after Bitcoiners, Bitcoin maximalists. So it's just kind of a shitstorm out there. People fighting with each other. A lot of people have nasty things to say about Elon Musk, including me, including most people who own cryptocurrency today, even Dogecoin. Even Dogecoin didn't survive completely the wreck today. And I'm looking at the chart. We're very close to going down below the lows. So we'll see where it stands up. So I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. This is LTV Crypto. We have a sponsor for the show. It's our t-shirt company. I'm wearing our propaganda shirt today. It's pretty cool. It has on all the major news networks. Check it out. truthclothing.io. And we have crypto shirts for sale right now. For pre-order right now, along with the rest of our other stuff. So go to truthclothing.io. And you can go to the crypto shop, or you can go check out everything else on the site, and you can get some really great shirts, and there's free shipping on orders over $50. And then the other thing I do for people who are in need is crypto consulting. And if you're interested in that kind of thing, you can book an appointment with me at bitcoinmissionary.com. That's kind of what I do during the day. So, all right, let me show you. Let's show you what Elon said. First of all, people were pissed off at Elon Musk at him making his basically 180 on Bitcoin. What's the story of Elon Musk? A couple months ago, he decided to announce that he bought Bitcoin. He bought Bitcoin. The company bought Bitcoin. He announced it. He had Bitcoin. Didn't he have Bitcoin? Wasn't his bio just hashtag Bitcoin? At one point, I mean, the guy had acted like he was all in and Bitcoin was the thing, Everybody was happy, all the Bitcoiners saying nice things about Elon Musk, people trading in their Bitcoins for Teslas. Elon Musk is a hero, Even though he's pumping Dogecoin at the same time, people still give him a pass on that because he owns Bitcoin. He's a Bitcoiner. He believes in it. He understands it. Well, at some point, he decided, even though he should have known the story about the energy usage of Bitcoin is not a new story. It's a very old story, and people have been bitching about it for a long time. So he would have known that before his company put in over $1 billion into Bitcoin. Should have known. If he didn't know, then that'd be even worse. Should have known, right? Did his research on Bitcoin, supposedly. Knows that energy is used to secure the network. And then all of a sudden he says, oh, we're not taking Bitcoins anymore. And before he says that, he says, oh, maybe we should take Dogecoins, right? So Elon Musk is a grifter. He makes the only kind of profit he's ever made really is because of government subsidies. His cars don't burn gas on the road, but they use power, which is often generated however power is being generated, which could be in a dirty way, could be in a clean way, just like Bitcoin. His cars run on electricity, And there's a lot of environmental impact. The mining's not really good for the environment. And the disposal is not necessarily good for the environment either. So people are calling him a hypocrite because he is. And does Bitcoin use a lot of energy? Yes. Well, so this is the thing. This is the thing about what he said. Why, even though it's ridiculous, even though one could easily argue the power usage of Bitcoin, even though it seems like a lot, what it provides in terms of value is more than worth the amount of power it consumes, because it allows something that was previously not impossible, but which was previously impossible, which is being your own bank, sending a transaction to another person without A knowing B or B knowing A, no trusted third party. I mean, it's revolutionary. It's once in a not just a millennium, once in human history kind of event. And yeah, it uses some electricity, but maybe it's going to create an energy revolution, and maybe all the energy it uses is totally worth it, and people should just forget about it. Well, that's true. But he's also right that Bitcoin does use a lot of energy. And because of that, and there are alternatives, sort of, that use less energy. And yes, it's not crazy to think about it being invested in some of these things that Elon Musk maybe would be more approving of. Things that use maybe like proof of stake. And I mentioned Cardano and I mentioned Polygon as two plays in that space. And that is worth thinking about, because even though what he said is complete and utter bullshit, it's kind of true. Bitcoin does use a lot of power. And if the price goes up, it uses more power. And eventually, it's going to be a lot. A whole, shitload, as they say, of power will be used to just fire up this Bitcoin blockchain and keep everybody's money safe. So it's a real thing. And, it's possible. And it's worth hedging yourself in ways where, what happens if people suddenly decide to use a currency which doesn't use as much power. Now, basically, every kind of currency that is like money, which Ethereum is not, and Polygon is not, and Cardano is not. They're more like networks. Things that are actually money typically are secured with proof of work, including Elon Musk's favorite coin, which he doesn't know anything about, Dogecoin, also secured with proof of work, same as Litecoin, same as most of them. Most of them are secured that way with proof of work, including, I believe, Monero and pretty much every alternative currency. However, Hedera Hashgraph uses something different. I'm not invested in it, but it uses a different kind of hashing technology, which maybe uses less power, and was kind of up on the news. So it's possible something like that. I had people tell me bad things about Hedera, but I also see a lot of people who love Hedera. And if it uses less power, it might be a play. It might be a play towards where we're going, because who knows where this all ends. Anyway, let me show you what happened. Elon Musk, somebody said to him, Peter McCormick, who's a Bitcoin guy, said, "Dear Elon Musk, the perfect troll is one where people don't know whether it is a troll or not. Your recent poorly informed criticism of Bitcoin and support for Doge may be the perfect troll, or you might actually believe this. God, I hope not." And Elon Musk responded, "Obnoxious threads like this make me want to go all in on Doge." Okay, cue sell-off. Elon Musk also claimed that Bitcoin is centralized, not realizing that Dogecoin is way more centralized than Bitcoin when it comes to who actually owns the coins, because they say like 30% of Dogecoins are owned by two people. And I don't know if one of them's Elon Musk or not. But it's very centralized compared to Bitcoin, where the ownership of Bitcoin is more spread out. It's somewhat concentrated, but nothing like Dogecoin. Elon Musk says that the hashing, the mining, is too centralized, and points out that there was an accident at a coal plant in China that shut down 35% of Bitcoin mining. Hey, maybe that's kind of true. Maybe the mining is kind of centralized, but that doesn't mean that Bitcoin isn't decentralized. And then somebody said this, and this is what made the news. Mr. Whale at Crypto Whale said Bitcoiners are going to slap themselves next quarter when they find out Tesla dumped the rest of their Bitcoin holdings. With the amount of hate Elon Musk is getting, I wouldn't blame him. To which Elon Musk replied, indeed. And the headline that hit Bloomberg was, Musk implies Tesla may sell or has sold Bitcoin holdings. So that's what the financial people got to see across their desk. Musk implies Tesla may sell or has sold Bitcoin holdings because he said, indeed. Now, what was he saying indeed to? What does our reading comprehension say? With the amount of hate Elon Musk is getting, I wouldn't blame him. He says, indeed. Well, maybe he agrees that, given how much hate he's getting, that, he could sell all his stuff, or it wouldn't be crazy if he sold all of his stuff. But whether he did or not, I don't know. Does it matter? How much does he have? A couple $1 billion worth? It's, I don't know what it is now, probably an $800 billion market cap. Doesn't make a big difference. What does make a difference, though, is if other corporations decide that they want to hold off on buying Bitcoin because of what he said. And I don't know, you have to consider that that at least is a possibility. Not saying don't buy Bitcoin, and for God's sake, I'm not saying to sell Bitcoin now, but it's worth taking into account that maybe people will decide that they want to invest in something else. So I'm definitely keeping my eyes out. I'm curious, because Bitcoin is amazing. Bitcoin is revolutionary. Bitcoin solved problems which had previously not been solved, but it's almost exactly the same as Dogecoin, which people say is a joke. And Dogecoin, in a lot of ways, is actually better. Dogecoin doesn't have the scarcity thing down as well, but Litecoin does. Bitcoin Cash does. So if these other alternatives, or if one of these other alternatives, it turns out, can use less energy, then there's no real reason besides the fact that Bitcoin is Bitcoin that people couldn't decide on to put their money in something else that does the same thing as Bitcoin, but with less energy. Right now, it's not clear exactly what that is, but I know Hedera, is maybe a shot at that. And again, these proof of stake plays, which even Ethereum should be one of those, but like Cardano, even though Cardano is not money, anything that promises to use less power right now, the narrative is favorable. So anything that promises to use less power, but I believe that's also Ethereum, which is going to proof of stake for Ethereum 2.0, and proof of stake should use less power. So even though right now Ethereum uses a lot of power too, in the future it's not supposed to. So if that's the play you're making, Ethereum is still a good play, I think, even though it is, way down. So on the bright side, if you're looking for that, Raoul Pal says that to buy the freaking dip, and that we're just looking at a very healthy correction and maybe turning into a wedge pattern. Very healthy correction, he says, in Bitcoin. Ethereum looking even better. So by those charts there, it looks like we're supposed to get a bounce. Right now, I'm looking at a chart that is testing the lows of the day. So we might go lower than that nice white line he put at, that's supposed to be at the bottom of that channel. So we'll find out. Raoul Pal also jumped on Bitcoiners today, saying that they're too rude and that people would like Bitcoin more if Bitcoiners were nicer. The only thing I can say about Bitcoiners and Bitcoin maximalists, this is what he said. The biggest impediment to BTC adoption are Bitcoin maximalists. Few understand this. Be more open. Don't try to ram your points home. Support people and don't be tribal, and never be abusive and insulting if someone doesn't share your BTC only views. It's a big world out there, and I guess you throw somebody in there like Max Kaiser. And yeah, I'm not going to blame Bitcoin maximalists for the price of Bitcoin not going higher. But they are wrong. And also, it's not very inviting when you have cryptocurrencies. The other cryptocurrencies are kind of the same thing. There's thousands of them. Yes, some of them do different things. And yes, they're exciting projects. But Bitcoiners have to realize it's just a crypto after all. There are a lot of things, Litecoin, it's kind of the same thing. It's scarce and it's better transactions. So it's possible everybody could just, decide to stop using Bitcoin and use something else. And it wouldn't be that much different. Bitcoin's not that special. It's great. And the store value thing is great, and it is Bitcoin, and it was the first, and there is value in that, and there's value in a name brand. But Bitcoin maximalists, at least, need to realize, once the technology's out there, now there are a lot of coins with the same technology, and a lot of them do different stuff, and a lot of them do stuff like better than Bitcoin. And then, why would you not want somebody to be able to invest in exciting projects? That's the other thing I don't understand. Right now, I'm pretty excited about everything I own, and I'm looking forward to the next leg up because they're exciting projects. Polygon is really cool. Ethereum is pretty neat. It's a lot of things use it, and it creates a lot of opportunities, and it's truly, totally epic and amazing and different than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is great, but, look at this Telcoin. It's interesting for remittance payments. Look at all these different ways you can use money. AAVE, decentralized lending. That's totally amazing. What an amazing project to be able to invest in. See, so I don't know. I would... I don't know what's wrong exactly with Bitcoin maximalists or what it is that but I believe they've been proven by now to be incorrect at the very least. incorrect in the assumption that Bitcoin would ultimately be the only survivor. And that was the idea of Bitcoin maximalists, is that eventually all altcoins will go to zero and there will be only one. But that's not possible. There are too many uses for cryptocurrency. There are way too many different kinds of cryptocurrencies that do all kinds of different exciting things. And it's a brand new space. People are getting into it. If anything, it's still going to grow. And if anything, it's still probably people are going to make more money investing in shitcoins than they are in Bitcoin for a while. Maybe for a long time. And that doesn't mean Bitcoin's price isn't going to go up or I'm selling or anything. But, it seems to me Bitcoin's been around a long time. We know what it does, but people are getting excited about other opportunities that aren't quite there yet. So those are my thoughts. Fuck Elon Musk. He should just shut up. I do hope I am ready for Tesla stock to go to zero one day. Speaking of speculative investments. But for now, we have to deal with him. And in any case, there are always opportunities. So I'll send out my newsletter. I'm going to try to send out my newsletter tomorrow. I'm going to talk about some of the things I talked about. Already told you about a few things. And that's it. So subscribe to the newsletter by clicking on my link in the description for this video on YouTube. And then that'll go out. You know the other ways to get a hold of me, to subscribe, to schedule an appointment, bitcoinmissionary.com, to go to our website, etc. Follow us on DLive for the rest of the shows. Lots of news about Bill Gates, believe it or not. Lots of news about Bill Gates. You might want to hear. Probably talking about that on DLive at dlive.tv/lifttheveil. And I appreciate everybody tuning into the YouTube channel. And I will see you at the next one for YouTube. That is what it is.